speaker is Georgina Garko, the Director of Marketing and Communications for PeerJ.
I just wanted to put this quote up here from Emerson. I really love this quote. Do not go where the path may lead. Go instead where there is no path and leave a trail. And I think when we're thinking about Emerson and his quote, I think it applies perfectly when you're thinking about innovation. So a truly innovative path is never easy, and probably as many of you in the room know, it's often sort of strewn with painful thorns along the way. And without innovators, though, we wouldn't have a path to follow. And I think everyone here can consider themselves as innovators. Anyone who's interested in OA is trying to change publishing and trying to change the industry and push the boundaries forward. There we go, double driving. So PeerJ is an open access journal. We launched in February 2013, so we're fairly new in the space. We publish purely in life sciences and in medicine only. And we really have innovation at our core. This is our mission statement, and you can see that keep innovating is definitely kind of baked into our DNA. It's very much part of what we do and what we believe in. We've won awards for our innovation. We won the ALPSP Award in 2013 for publishing innovation. We've also been named as one of the top 10 educational technology innovators of 2013 by the Chronicle of Higher Education. So, praise indeed. In terms of the founders, so Pete Binfield and Jason Hoyt founded PeerJ. I believe they actually started publishing December 2012, but we really launched in February of 2013. So arguably they have innovation actually baked into their core and in their DNA too. Pete Binfield was the publisher of PLOS ONE, and Jason Hoyt was Chief Scientist and VP of R&D at Mendeley, so both working on very innovative tools and platforms. I think if you're thinking about innovation, it's really important to build something that people actually want. I've worked on some products where the users were often the last people to be thought about, so it is really important to build it properly and appropriately for the audience. So I just want to talk a little bit about why we've won those awards and why we know for our innovation. Essentially, our big picture innovation here is that we've tried to create a publishing ecosystem that's built on natural incentives and good behaviour. It's about increased sharing, increased openness, and increased propagation of knowledge in an effective way. So I'll talk a little bit, very briefly, and I'll talk in some detail about some of these, but these are the kind of building blocks of the things that PeerJ is built on. So we have an entirely new business model based around the individual. We operate an optional open peer review system. We have also a built-in reputation system. For anyone in the room who might have used Stack Overflow, it's very similar to that, and I'll talk a little bit more about it. We also have PeerJ Preprint, quite common I think in physics, but that's actually integrated with the peer review journal as well. We're user-friendly. The platform itself is actually beautiful, and it's surprising that we should actually be even saying that in this day and age, 21st century. I think all journals should actually look beautiful and be user-friendly. Also, we have a great team of developers who they custom built the platform, so it enables us to sort of iterate on that platform and do that all in-house, which is great to be able to do that. We can do that very quickly, the team working in 2-week sprints to make sure that that's done. And that includes everything from submission to peer review to publication process. When Pete and Jason When Pete and Jason launched PeerJ, they really asked themselves the one fundamental question, and that was, if we can sequence a human genome for $100, why can't we openly publish for $100? So the whole rationale for PeerJ is around trying to build a model that's based on maximum quality at minimal cost. So this is our business model. It's a pay once, publish for life. The author pays to publish. The entry level rate is $99, but we also have tiered pricing. The one caveat is that all co-authors actually need a plan, so that it's kind of a network effect. So when one author comes on, the other authors also need to get a So ideally then they bring new authors on as well as they publish. It's also a lifetime model, so it's based around the individual and not around the publishing process, and that's very important to us. And a lot of our functionality is actually wrapped around the individual as a result as well, and I'll talk a little bit more about that. It's probably a bad analogy, but a little bit, in terms of our business model, it's a little bit like a tattoo. You're kind of with us for life, and unless you decide you've had enough of us, you can, maybe get us surgically removed, for instance. I don't know. Another nice aspect of our site is the optional open peer review, and I was astounded when I first joined Peerj. I've only been at Peerj 5 months, and I was amazed that 80% of the authors chose to make their peer review history open, and I think it's very important to us that that's optional. We're not forcing authors down that route. It's a choice, but obviously it's a choice that 80% of our authors actually want to make. So we feel it's better than, it's a bit of a carrot and stick approach. No stick being beaten here, it's definitely carrot. And it's about ensuring that we have transparency and making sure that there's consensus of opinion on those articles. Another interesting thing we're doing on Peerj is contribution points. So essentially, anyone doing anything within the system can get points. Points don't make prizes in this instance. It's just about making sure that everyone gets kind of credit for all of the things that they're doing. So what are those? I don't know if you can all read that very well. I don't know, maybe at the back, not. But essentially, it's a reputation metric at the end of the day. So if you're an author, an editor, or reviewer, you gain points for all the actions that you take. And the theory being that if you give credit for the good actions people are doing in the system, the idea is that they'll keep doing more of it and those behaviours will be better. This is attached to our Q&A system. So it's very similar to Stack Overflow. So I don't know if anyone in the room's actually used Stack Overflow, but you can ask questions, get responses, people get voted up and down. So it's pretty embryonic in our site at the moment, but it is a helpful way of surfacing additional data for those articles. From the data, we're also able to build kind of leaderboards out in our system. So again, this is very much about it being based around the individual, and this is active on our site at the moment. So you can drill down in and see who are the most active authors, the most active editors, and reviewers, for instance. So it encourages, it's another way of getting individuals to build out their reputation as well. We also have the Preprint Server as well. So this is unpeer-reviewed content that's going in, so very much along the lines of archive or bioarchive. We take the unpeer-reviewed content and it does get a basic staff vetting, but then it very quickly goes on. So in 24 hours of submission, it's up and live. So people can then leave comments and feedback. It's almost like an open peer review system, but it's not entirely. We don't bill it as that. It is a preprint server, but it's optional. The author doesn't have to send a preprint to us, but it's often useful because they'll get feedback and you can connect it with the published articles. So in a way, we get a paper trail if once an author submitted, and so we've got the entire history of their publication from start to finish. So, viewed through the lens of incentivising good behaviour, keep driving, what we do have is a set of innovative elements really that kind of build out the Peerj platform, and packaged together we think that they make a journal for the future. It's many components which form the building blocks of the publishing ecosystem. So, from an author's perspective, this ecosystem can either be viewed as a very sort of innovative and dynamic and forward-thinking platform, but conversely it can also be viewed as quite a traditional peer-reviewed journal as well, so it makes it a very unthreatening and safe environment. to publish with. So we think we've built a journal for the future, and obviously we keep iterating on it as well. And our authors do tend to agree with us. And, the proof of the pudding is actually in the eating. So in a recent author survey, 100% of published authors would recommend PeerJ to their colleagues, and we're really, really proud of this. It's, I think that stat's gone up from last year, which was around 80%. So it's definitely validation of the innovation that's kind of baked into PeerJ. So I just wanted to leave you really with a thought that ultimately innovation is all about pushing the boundaries of publishing forward, and it might actually feel a little bit like stepping outside our comfort zones from time to time. But I wanted to leave this quote. It's from Jeff Bezos, who's founder of Amazon, and he said, if you never want to be criticised, don't do anything new. So I'll leave you with that thought. But we found that if you do, then the uptake is usually quite good and positive, so it's worth doing.